Guys, what's up? Happy Sunday. This is something that usually goes without, or I guess we'll say under the radar. There's not a lot of people that are going to talk about this, but narcissists tend to weaponize sex in general, but especially on special occasions. Okay, let me explain. For instance, and I'm going to use examples from my own life. For instance, if you have a birthday, okay, that narcissist sees you getting attention, whether it's from yourself to yourself, whether it's from your family to you, friends to you, whatever it is, your children to you, if you have kids, right? They don't like that shit. They don't like anybody getting attention that's not them. So at the end of the day, or somewhere throughout the day, if you were to just like make advances towards them because they're your partner, they're going to shoot you down. Okay? They are not going to engage in any type of sex with you on that day. That birthday is going to be fucked up at the end of that birthday because you're going to be sitting there instead of looking at your balloons and eating cake and opening presents and enjoying it and kikiing with friends. You're going to be sitting there at the end of that birthday at that night in the nighttime thinking, what's wrong with me? Like, what happened? Or arguing because you said something about what happened, right? But they're going to refuse having sex with you. Doesn't mean they don't want to have sex with you. I don't know what the fuck they want. Don't nobody know that shit. But guess what I do know? I know that they intentionally didn't. I know that they intentionally didn't have sex with you because they wanted you to know and to feel without a shadow of a doubt that you're not special. I don't care if it's your birthday. You're not worth me being intimate with you. Your self-worth needs to be taken down a peg or two. That whole shininess that is your birthday, everybody paying attention to you and not me, you need to be corrected because you had a birthday. And so the only way I can do that is the only thing I have to my name, which is sex, is usually they don't have anything else really to offer. And even the sex is trash because more than likely they eventually are going to have an STD anyway. So that's tarnished, tainted, disgusting, right? But they will literally not do that. And so once I was pregnant with our daughter, and I worked at a pet store. Right, I worked at a really popular pet store, and one of my dog clients that I always made sure to get her discount and nice things or whatever, she worked at a hotel. She worked at it wasn't a mainstream hotel. She worked at a hotel that was not mainstream, that was very, very nice. Like a very upscale hotel that was nearby. And she was like, you know what? It's your birthday. I'm going to get you a discount on a hotel. I'm going to throw in dinner and you just come and stay. Do you know that my ex waited until it was time to walk to that hotel because it was that close to where we live to start an argument with me so that he had an excuse to leave, which he did, and then could not locate him. Pregnant, mind you, I'm like about 6.5 months pregnant at this time with our daughter, right? And I'm like just trying to have a good time. This is the one time my mother babysat. My mother doesn't babysit. Mind you, my mom's a narc as well. She don't babysit, okay? So the one time she finally was like, okay, he ditches out on me. He wants me to go to that hotel, which I did, alone, which I did, and not be able to enjoy the amenities, which did happen to me because I was so upset. Right? And eventually around 3 a.m. in the morning, meaning the whole experience was pretty much already over because there were like rooftop drinks. If he wanted to come, he could have had a drink, on my tab. Because of my friend inviting me there, and it was a rooftop pool, and I was very excited about this pool. Pregnant preggers girl wanted to get in the pool. By the time he came, it was 3 in the morning, y'all, and he enjoyed the pool. It was too late for him to get a drink, and all he did was go into my room at this hotel and go to fuck to sleep. So you couldn't even muster up some dick. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? Like, you couldn't even come up with some apologetic head that you clearly owed me something. Not even any apologetic head, bruh, dude or dudette. Nah, dude. So anyway, shit like that. They will do shit like that because they want you to feel like you are trash and not important. And they know that if they do not touch you, that you're going to start analyzing yourself and feeling undesirable. And there's nothing worse in the world, like as far as like being a human and in contact with another human, than to feel outcasted, ousted, undesirable, especially to your partner, especially to your spouse. Okay, another one was our wedding day. On our wedding day, we got married. Everybody was saying, "Oh my gosh, you guys look so cute," da 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 da, right? But when we got home, even though he had been very celebratory in the way that he was acting publicly, when we got home, everybody knows that it's tradition that you are supposed to consummate your marriage, right? With that. Do you think that happened? Fuck no. Not only did it not happen, he intentionally and purposefully did not touch me for like 3 days. I'm almost convinced that he gave it a biblical 3 because, but from an antichrist perspective, because the Bible goes by like 3s, 7s, and the number 40, right? In the way that God does things, right? He waited 3 days. In 3 days, and the only reason why I think anything resumed is because we literally ended up in an argument over sex. Can you believe that shit? Like, I would never in a million years argue with anybody over that shit. But when you are there and you're mentally like, inhabited by a narcissistic, abusive relationship, you might find yourself actually having arguments over fucking sex, dude. Right? With someone who doesn't even deserve to have it with you. Alright? I don't know who else has been through this, but I know that I went through it a lot, actually. Not in the beginning. In the beginning, you can't even peel them off of you, right? Worse than duct tape. But when you get deep in that relationship, you will start to experience sexual rejection, okay? And you will really experience it during times where you're supposed to have happiness. And like I said, like birthdays, holidays, weddings. We did not consummate that marriage until like almost a whole damn fucking week. Okay? How bad would you feel if you were in a wedding dress and your husband did not, the groom refused to touch you? But they knew how to roll up some weed. They knew how to go see their male friends. They knew how to leave the house and not come back until late in the night. How would you feel? Exactly. That's exactly what happened. Another one was when I had an art show. I was doing this art show, and of course, everybody's happy. You're happy, and you want to celebrate with your boo, right? So why wouldn't you want, like, at the end of that show, at the end of the day, at the end of the night, come home and, like, get down with your boo? Fuck no. He really, on purpose, did not touch me. This is the type, Christmas. They will open gifts. You will have thought out the most thoughtful gifts on the planet. And they'll be like, oh, and enjoy it and hug you, and y'all will have eggnog. Whatever you did, your Christmas dinner, y'all will be sitting there laughing and kikiing over like a Netflix special. But the minute that you want to actually have sex with them, they will not do it. They will refuse you. They'll go to sleep on purpose. They'll do something else on purpose. They'll find some hobby to engage with on purpose. They'll go out with their friends on purpose. They'll leave the house and not come back on purpose. That shit is a thing. They will not have sex with you to humble your ass. They want to humiliate you to yourself. Actually, there's no worse humiliation than one amongst oneself. I mean, there's one thing for you to make me look bad in front of other people, but to just isolate me between you and I, to reject me between you and I, that's crazy work, dude. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I just want to throw that out there. If you guys ever, when you venture out into a new relationship, okay, or if you're still in that relationship and you're wondering if you're with one of these narcs, then this would be one of those telltale signs. If someone ever rejects you physically, and I'm not saying you have to fuck somebody every day. You don't have to. But when you are with someone, even if they weren't in the mood, they wouldn't blatantly just reject you. Number one, they'd either try anyway, or they would give you an honest reason why they just aren't in the mood right now. But they will get back to you later, and it won't be 3 and 4 and 5 and 7 and 8 days and all that shit, okay? Alright, so if you find someone doing that to you and you don't know what's going on with them yet, get rid of their ass, because this is one of those big telltale signs that you are potentially dealing with a narcissist or a sociopath or something amongst that, the dark triad, okay? Alright, that being said, if you have been in sexual contact with a narcissist, now we're gonna go ahead and get it out, because we're grown, right? If you're not grown, you need to leave, okay? When you have had sex with a narcissist, you know that that's a demonic transfer from their body to your body. We already know that shit. I'm going to tell you what I did. And maybe you might want to go do that, okay? You need to cleanse yourself. You need to cleanse, like my kid says, yourself. My 5-year-old, you need to cleanse yourself, okay? And you need to go ahead and get you, for ladies, this is what I did when he left and discarded me. The same fucking day, as distraught as I thought that I was, I know I wasn't so distraught that I didn't make it to CVS. I took my ass to CV fucking S. I got me a douche, okay? Say it with me, ladies, douche, right? And I fucking prayed over that shit, and I said, I squeezed it. Girl, boys and girls, I cleaned the fuck out of that. Alright? I said, I can't have any remnants of anything in there. And then I prayed over myself. And you're right, you better pray over your crotch. Yes, you can. I can't pray over my crotch. Why? Why can't you pray over your crotch? Fuck wrong with you? You don't love you? You don't love your crotch? You better pray over that shit. You better pray over that motherfucker. You better. Right? I prayed over it, and not just that, but if you're a dude and you're like, well, I can't use a douche, I'm a dude. Okay, I got one for you, boo, but every state has a Catholic church somewhere, and every Catholic church has free holy water. And no, you do not have to go and request it. You can go right into that sanctuary, and there'll be a steel container, a big steel container with a spigot, and it'll have a crucifix on it, and you take you a jar and you pour you some, and when you get home, you pour it on your junk. You pour that junk right on that schmeatza pizza, okay? Pour it right on there. No, don't dip it, because you're going to need to use it again. No one wants you to dip it. No double dipping in the holy water with your peeing. But you do need to pour it on there, or you can put it in a spray bottle like I have. I put it right in a spray bottle. You can spray your nuts. Spray all of that, okay? And you pray over that. Alright, and you get that up out of there. You can plead the blood of Jesus over your genitals, baby. Jesus knows, and I'm not being funny. You better. And then after you finish doing all of that and cleaning all of that, then you take your ass to the clinic or wherever your doctor is, and you say, hey, test me for everything. And I've said that in another video. Everything, Cat Williams says, everything. You test yourself for everything. And then you deal with the consequences. If you don't have nothing, thank God. If you have something, take care of that shit, because you're a grown person, okay? And thank God anyway. And hopefully it's something that you can actually get medication for, all right? But yeah, narcissists will not fuck you in order to fuck you up. I hope you heard me, all right? What we gonna do? How we gonna peace out? Ooh, like they do in the hood. Ooh, ooh. I don't know how you make hood sounds. Ooh, whatever. You heard me? You feel me? All right, that's good. I love you guys, and I hope you're having a beautiful Sunday. And yes, don't deal with that shit. Protect your genitals. Yes, holy water will work on that. I put it like Frank's Red Hot Sauce. I put that shit on everything. Love you. Bye.